GIRLSCAMP, it's Girls Camp.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Girls Camp podcast. I'm your host, Haley Rawle, and I am joined today by my longest, bestest friend, who also happens to be, which we'll see how much we talk about this, gay, number one. That's the most important
coming
part
out
of your
today.
bio. This is Tanner's coming out episode.
Again.
I was going to say, by way of introduction, that you are actually, how would you introduce yourself? Director.
Yeah.
Do you say creative director?
I don't necessarily anymore. It's still
Yeah.
like part of the practice, but went from stills to direction and
Do you say photographer anymore or just director?
with the option of how big the check is for the
Yes,
photography.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, director. My director friend, Tanner K. Williams. Also, when I was thinking about this intro, I know that I know this. Obviously, I know this. Your middle name.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask this. I don't know why. I was like, she's going to ask about if the K stands for anything.
It doesn't.
It's fully a freaking letter.
It's just the letter K.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Which means no period. Like, it's not an abbreviation, obviously.
It's just Tanner, capital K
but
Williams.
it does stand for cunt. Yeah, totally.
K-U-N-T.
Yeah, totally.
Why did that happen that way?
My great-grandpa's name was Carl. My grandpa's name was Kay, K-A-Y, which was like more popular in like, I don't know, 1200s. And then my dad's middle name was K. And so then I guess they just gave me the letter K, which I really resented for a long time. But now it feels like so East Coast.
No, I love it. It's
Yeah, totally.
it's so cool. But
Yeah,
it's so,
chic.
I was thinking like, that's pretty random to just do a letter.
And like my parents weren't cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
baby, you know my parents aren't cool. You more than anyone in the world
In some ways, your
knows
mom
that my
is
parents
cool.
are cool.
In some ways.
Sure, yeah, totally.
The reason we've convened today, well, we're just going to shoot the shit. We're just going to chat. As
I'm
I
honestly
said,
so happy to be back.
yes, this is your second time.
This is my
by the
second
way.
time. Last time we were like talking about the
We had so
repairing
much
of our
to cover.
relationship. There was so much, and like there was a lot of coverage that had to happen, and a lot of timelines. And now we just gotta like talk about being dumb bitches. Thank Jesus motherfucking Christ.
Yep.
Which is what we've done for
Ever
20 years now.
since you asked me to be your girlfriend in third grade.
And I stand by. And now I'm kind of hot.
I still haven't
Now I'm
answered.
kind of hot though.
Honestly,
Like,
my
maybe
answer
might
might be different.
reconsider.
I was actually thinking of introing you and saying my best friend, my lover, my enemy, my daddy, my baby, my mommy.
And your husband's mommy and daddy and baby and everything also.
100%. And also my husband too.
Literally.
And also the third maybe for
100%.
me and my husband.
Literally.
Yeah, we've known each other since literally third
Third
grade.
grade.
You are the person who has known me the longest and the closest besides my family by
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Am I the same to you?
Yes. Totally.
Like,
Literally, yeah. No, like
which
the only
is actually really crazy to think about.
No, it's great. The only other person who then holds a candle to like length is like Bae, and I got really
Yeah.
close, but that wasn't. I've known her as long, but we weren't close until high school.
But you
So
knew
I've been the
her
closest
as early
to
as
you, the longest of anybody,
Okay, thank you.
which is very well. You're well. Can you imagine me being like, no, bitch?
You're like, actually, there's someone else. I would know who that
you
other
would
person was.
know.
We are going to be talking about, among many things. I'm actually really excited. I was just saying,
too.
we get to just talk because you live in LA now.
Mm-hmm.
I live here. I have children that are lovely and loud. So it's very hard. It's so hard to FaceTime with kids.
Totally.
Anyway, we just have a lot to catch up on. So as I was thinking through questions, I have a lot of questions about
Wait,
you
fun.
and your spiritual journey and stuff.
Great.
But the first topic is,
Perhaps the most important, and this is the only one that I know we're talking about.
it certainly is, and it also comes with a confession that I have to make.
No, you relapsed.
There's literally a Diet Coke in my fridge right now
For
from Pop and Dot.
at
which
least it's
is-
not from Guzzler.
It's from the Wills Canyon Stop Soda Shop because it's open on Sunday.
I love Will's Canyon Stop. It's heaven. I love Will's Pit Stop.
Okay, to back up, we both have had Diet Coke as a founding principle of our friendship.
Of our friendship, of our independence,
Of our life.
like sociality, of repair, of a ritual or whatever. And literally, bitch, we're talking about Diet Coke today. Thank God again. I'm seriously so serious that I'm so stoked to talk about this because
Me too.
The fucking dumb ass drink literally has meant so much to me for next Sunday will be 16 years.
You've been drinking it that long. But
Or I
you're
guess
not-
15 years, 16 years since I like got my learner's permit. I plan this. I have one planned confession for this podcast. I have drank between one singular 44 ounce up to 5 64 ounces a day
Wait.
for the past 15 years.
5.
5 double big gulp 64 ounce Diet Cokes a day.
They sell a 64 ounce?
Yeah, baby. Yeah, they do here too. That's what the like biggest thing is at Mav.
I thought it was
like,
44.
44 is the like normal girl one, and then there's the like white trash trailer trash
And you've
version.
had up to 564. How
Up
did
to
you not
5.
get a kidney stone before me? How did
Oh.
I get a kidney stone? I'm really honestly frustrated about it. All the people I know who drink so much Diet Coke,
I've had kidney stones.
kidney stones are like, that's kind of the
Yeah,
thing. It's
totally.
like not the worst thing that can happen.
Well,
but
maybe
you
I
can
just
get
like
kidney stones.
maybe it's just so my dad had so many kidney stones at one point that they were too large to even pass. So it was just every day I was like trying to pass it, and therefore they had to like blast him out of his pussy.
Yeah.
So maybe my pussy's gonna have to be blasted soon.
I'm
I hope
shocked
so.
it hasn't at that rate. And I'm
I-
shocked mine has. I didn't have to get blasted though.
Yeah, totally.
Because it was small. I actually think I had something called kidney sand. It's
Okay,
like,
right, like
super,
super
super
granular.
small, which still hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah, totally.
I've told you how painful
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
was.
No, we had a meeting scheduled the night that you
Oh
were
yeah, you're right.
passing
And I
them
was like, I'm currently passing
at
a
the
kidney
ER.
stone.
Oh my god.
Diet Coke has been a really important thing to both of us. And I was going to show you this before you wanted to wait to react. But this here is for those who are watching on YouTube. But if you're not watching, how do I explain this to the listeners? This is a framed photo of Tanner and I. We are standing outside of
BYU, we're at BYU
BYU.
campus. Yeah,
and I'm holding a Diet Coke.
naturally.
You are holding a shredded styrofoam cup
Mm-hmm.
that probably held Diet Coke. And you made this frame. It's like a paper mache frame. It's really
Like,
beautiful.
Oh my god. I mean, like it's beautiful in like a twee Zoe Deschanel ass 2012 way.
But I feel like there's hints of you still here.
Perhaps. Yeah. It like looks like the dream catcher.
There's a feather.
Yeah,
there's
totally.
like some twine.
It reminds me of me because of my Native American ancestry.
Forgot to mention in the intro. No,
totally.
it does feel a little appropriative now that you
No,
mention
it's
it.
crazy. Totally. It's kind of crazy. But
I'll
I
post
do
a
love
picture
that
for
so
this,
much.
But I wanted to show you this because I have kept this all these years. I wish
I
you
made
had-
that for you when you left on your mission, when I left on
No,
my
no,
mission.
no. I think it was before that.
It was a birthday.
It was a birthday or a Christmas present.
high school.
And I remember because you had written something on it. Yeah, Christmas 2010. Merry Merry Christmas, Walker. Love you forever, T-Tron.
Aw, that's really sweet.
That's really so sweet.
And I do, and I always have, and I always will.
Ditto. So this is proof also
Proof
of Diet
that
Coke
we've been
being so
drinking
important for us.
at the very least for 15 years.
But then you had to go and fuck everything up
Yeah, totally.
and go off Diet Coke. So I felt like I had to go off Diet Coke.
Okay, I'm
and
actually
I'm
okay.
sad.
Okay, so let's talk about what Diet Coke means, and then we
You're
can
right.
talk about
why is it so
it's come up.
important to you and to us?
So Diet Coke serves 3,000 purposes that tons of other things outside of Mormonism serves, right? It is a break in a day, leaving an office. It is your morning ritual. It is, I feel like shit, I need to go for a beer. It is something to keep you up during like long work hours, which would be
A
like
nightcap,
Adderall.
even.
It's a nightcap. But most importantly, it was how you and I would like, you know, it's like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, and you're like, oh my God, I have 2 hours before bed. Like, I'm going to call this one person. We're going to go grab one beer before bed. And that's how like one of like the most special parts of our friendship started, is that I got my learner's permit like 12 and a half years before you, because you're like literally barely legal. And I would text you and say, I'm outside, and like not even give you a warning, because I had a car when I was 16, which is so lucky. My parents had fucked all the way off. So had to have a car, or else wouldn't have even been alive or gotten anywhere. And I would be like, we're going to get a Coke. And me and you would like go for 45 minutes. And instead of like, hi, Haley, would you like to hang out with me for 40 minutes before bed? It became this like really important enabler of friendship. We had something to do in the same way that getting a glass of wine serves outside of Mormonism, right? Of like, it's this thing that you're centered around, that instead of saying like, come discuss how you're feeling about your parents for 5 minutes with me, it just became so much more than that of like, it was coffee, it was a drink, it was ritual, it was safety, whatever. And it just like has continued to be that for me my whole life. Given I now drink and whatever, I will go grab a beer with friends. But that being said, I don't even really care about coffee still. I've gone on and off.
I was going to ask
but
you
like,
if you've...
I drink it, but like I don't.
It's not very fun to drink.
I don't wake up. I literally, for the past 15 years, my eyes would open and I would say, what is the quickest way in which I can get my body dressed and into a 7-Eleven or a Chevron and hear that gorgeous fizzy ass sound, and then have something cut my throat because I've been up for 3.5 seconds, and like the more cutty, the better, right?
You're a right in the morning guy, which is different than me.
The second my eyes open, I'm dreading how long it's going to take to put on clothes to then get in my car and drive.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not a can girl. I'm not a can girl unless I'm on set, which...
If you're a can girl... check yourself.
Check yourself. My team does know, however, that I have one singular rule, like on my rider, my director's rider, is that we're not running out of Diet Coke on set. That's not something I'm going to have to ask for and then be told no. That's the one thing I need. People like need the most extravagant, crazy things and room temperatures and like their own personal, whatever engraved thing. And I'm like, can I just have as many cans as I need?
Yeah.
So that being said, it's been important for me, and it sounds so silly because now that I'm off of it, I texted you the other day, and I was like, remember how we used to joke about how when your dad was in Cirque Lodge,
which is a
and
rehab.
for rehab, for heroin addiction.
Yeah.
There was also women in there, like Mormon mommies, damn, who were there for sugar addiction. And we joked about that so mean our whole lives and still
like made fun of the Relief Society, which to clarify, they were not actually in Cirque. They were part of the church. The LDS church has a 12-step program that's like LDS-ified, Mormon-ified.
That.
And my dad would
send shivers down my spine.
Yeah. My dad would go to those 12-step meetings and there would be Relief Society women there or Mormon women who were side by side with my dad, opiate addiction, and they were addicted to sugar. Yeah.
So that's really good context. That's perhaps even better, to be honest, like full addict behavior. And to be honest, now I get it.
No, literally, I understand.
Like, we need to check in for Diet Coke, babe.
We really need to go to rehab for Diet Coke, but you quit cold turkey and you're flying high. I don't know.
Okay, here's the tea. Here's why I know. Here's how I did it. Whenever I go to Europe, have you ever heard of Paris? I was with one of my daddies in Paris, and when I'm in Paris, I was in Paris.
With a daddy.
I was in Paris with a daddy. Which one? That's another part of the podcast. But I was like, I don't drink. They don't have Diet Coke. All of their Diet Cokes are warm and they're in bottles, and it's gross. There's no fountains. So I got
Diet Coke experience in Europe is really awful.
It's wretched. It's deplorable. Yeah,
because I was just in Europe as well.
Europe, Paris.
Sweden, actually.
Sweden. Didn't you go to Copenhagen? I thought you.
Amsterdam.
I swear in Copenhagen.
We laid over in Amsterdam. I've never been to Copenhagen.
Poor. I haven't either. What were we just saying?
You were saying you were in Europe. There was no
and I was
Diet
like,
Coke to be found.
I have accidentally gone off Diet Coke a couple times accidentally, and my cravings dissipate within like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, I just know that if I go, I knew that I was almost going to quit for a long time. And then my body was like, it's now. And I was like, okay, this is going to be an easy way to do it. Meanwhile, I'm chain smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day. So like I changed a vice for a vice.
Also cigarettes instead of Diet Coke, but.
Well, just there.
Okay.
And also after, with the pack that I brought after we're done taping, but not always.
Bentley's
just
off
like
weed
5
right
this
now,
morning.
and he's smoking a lot of cigarettes, and I'm like,
Weed's definitely a lot better for you than cigarettes, health-wise, but like mind-wise, not so much. But anyway, I did it, and I feel honestly really fucking happy. I'm sleeping better than I have in years and years and years.
Stomach's better.
My stomach and digestion is better. My stomach and digestion is like 10 times better. It's easier to douche. Does anybody know what that is?
Me looking at the camera.
I'm like, actually, I'm sure there's a lot of mommies who are like, yeah, baby, like, let's talk about douching. Honestly, next podcast is about
a lot of
douching.
Diet Coke mommies, probably.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
a niche, and it's probably here at girls' camp. Here's my thing. My biggest reason.
But I also want to hear about your feelings of Diet Coke.
My feelings of Diet Coke are very, very similar.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a different thing that complicates things in some ways, which is that I go to a soda shop. So
So complicated.
the reason it's complicated is because part of me going off is like, I think I need to like stop paying a Mormon soda shop $5 every single day because it's dumb. Like,
wait a minute.
It's really dumb.
It's dumb.
If I was just going to a gas station in that way, it would
And
be
it's
a
like
little bit different and it's cheaper.
$1.15,
Yes.
and
like
they're not Mormons.
it's fine. Like $5 a day. It's like a coffee or whatever. But it's just kind of getting to this point where I'm like, this feels like a little much.
Yeah.
But it's this part of my day. I hold off longer because it's kind of like I try and look forward to it. And then usually, depending on the day, depending on where I'm at, between noon and 3 p.m., I go and get my Diet Coke with sugar-free coconut and fresh lime. But a big part of going off for me was Sunday, before I talked to you about going off of Coke. This was going off of Coke, Diet Coke, to clarify, not cocaine.
You've never done cocaine, right?
I've never done cocaine. I don't know if I'd like cocaine that much.
That's okay. Keep going. I'm going to think about if you'd like
Put
cocaine.
a pin in cocaine.
I've never done it. Keep going. Sorry.
If like police are watching or something.
Police watching Girls Camp.
But never done Coke, either of us. It was Sunday. We were running late to go get family dinner. And I was like, I need to go get a Diet Coke. But I had to go to Splash, which is one that's open on Sunday. And Bentley was like, can we please just stop at a gas station? I was like, truly no. Like, I have to go to Splash. And that was when he was like, okay, babe, like let's
talk about
let's
this.
take a step back. And
like one must
so I
go
think
to Splash.
part of it is also just the rigidity. It became like this thing that it really was like something I had to do
it's
every
like
day.
quite compulsive. Like it's
Yes.
kind of OCD behavior, which I obviously am deeply OCD, and you're not OCD, but you were anxious.
Yeah.
And like rituals good for people, as sad in here as we are.
We need it.
We depend on it.
Literally, when I wake up. So I have to have something that at least makes up the gap of like, okay, I wake up in the morning, I can't get a Diet Coke. So what is the thing that I can look forward to? So I've been doing chai because I don't like coffee. But then I'm drinking like high calorie sugar milk.
Yeah.
I don't want to be drinking that. Instead, I have greatly reduced. I was also going to wean off of Diet Coke. It's only been a week. I've greatly reduced the amount of Diet Coke I'm drinking. But today I did go to a soda shop and I did get a 24 ounce.
Which is about, baby, that's progress, honey. Also, part of recovery is relapse, baby. So
just getting it out of the way sooner.
Seriously. I will say the only time that I was like, am I not going to seriously pull over right now and buy Diet Coke was 25 minutes ago driving here. I passed the shop, hot, 4 p.m. Like, what else is going to make 4 p.m. sunlight feel not atrocious? And I passed one of my favorite gas stations, like up in the whatever canyon I was just in by Sharice's house. And I was like, am I going to break my record of Diet Coke to then go to talk about having quit Diet Coke? And
you have an accountability
factor. I did think about it.
Well, I posted on fucking my Instagram. I'm going off Diet Coke. Now I have to fucking tell everyone.
Yeah, totally.
And now I'm like,
this is your coming out too.
It's my coming out to everyone. I did relapse, everyone. Dax Shepard, you know that I'm deeply parasocially in love with Dax Shepard.
Yeah, totally.
Which is very complicated. And
also, one day for the other, just started snorting. One day or the other. Never snorted my whole life. Now it's just a thing.
I would have not. I don't feel like it felt out of character. Meaning it didn't like surprise me.
Like other piggy aspects. Totally.
Feels natural.
Yeah, totally. Okay, parasocial.
Dax Shepard talks a lot about sobriety, and he relapsed and had to like do this podcast episode where he announced his relapse, and it was like really beautiful and powerful. So I guess that's kind of what this is.
This is the exact same thing I was just going to say.
What if the guilt and second guessing you constantly feel isn't just part of leaving religion? What if it's an OCD loop? Maybe you find yourself spiraling with thoughts like, did I do the right thing? Am I still good? Should I feel guilty just for thinking that? Sometimes these types of thoughts can be indicative of religious OCD, otherwise known as scrupulosity. While the common stereotypes around OCD are about being super tidy and organized, it can actually attack the things that matter most to you, like your spirituality and morals, and even sense of being a good person or not. Scrupulosity often looks like intrusive thoughts, endless second guessing, or a desperate need for certainty about questions that don't always have clear answers. And the harder you try to push those thoughts away through apologizing, researching, or mentally replaying decisions, the more trapped you might feel. The good news is that OCD is highly treatable and you do not have to suffer forever. That's where NoCD comes in. NoCD is the world's leading OCD treatment provider, and their licensed therapists specialize in ERP, exposure and response prevention, which is the gold standard therapy for OCD. They understand that your spiritual journey is complicated and personal, and they will help you build skills to break free from OCD while still respecting your individual beliefs. Sessions with NoCD are 100% virtual, and they are covered by insurance for over 155 million Americans. You can also access support between sessions, so you are guided through every step of your journey toward healing. If you think you might be dealing with religious OCD, check out nocd.com. You can book a free 15-minute call today. That's nocd.com. Let's talk about substances more broadly, because we were talking about cocaine a little, talking about weed. I wanted to tell you that with the Diet Coke stuff, taking a step back from Diet Coke has also caused reflection on weed. I use weed daily. It's pretty bounded and pretty moderate, so I don't feel like it's anything of concern, but it's also habitual, 100% habitual.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of taken a step back.
Yeah,
I look forward to it. It's kind of like, okay, once the girls are down, I'm like, okay, I want to smoke weed. Bentley's on a break from THC. And the thing that always happens for me is, and you're very similar to this, it's like the black and white thinking. I've found it really hard to know how to relate to substances with an ex-Mormon brain.
Yes.
Because I want to be healthy and I want to be moderate, but I find myself either like anything goes and my brain can feel safe with anything goes, or nothing, you know?
That is so fascinating because you are way more in control than every other ex-Mormon I know. So I like
with substances.
Yeah, you are very chill. Like you really are very good and disciplined. So I want to give you that. What's another word for kudos? That's less chuggy. You really are. Like I don't feel like you like let loose. But in thinking about substances in general, before I came here, I was thinking about this, and I was having this conversation with someone the other day in LA of like, Mormonism disallows you, not only you are not allowed to form your own compass on anything. And I find that that's why a lot of Mormons and like Amish Rumspringa, right? Rumspringa is like, you have no ability to self-regulate because you have been told what you want and the quantity or the lack thereof of things you want. And therefore you don't have history of having tried and chosen for yourself. Because like I have plenty of friends that are like, oh, I drank enough alcohol in college that I don't like it anymore and I don't want to do it. And like obviously we're disallowed so many things, but like in addition to like how we feel about politics or like queer marriage or whatever, you don't form your own compass. And so once you're out, you don't have these guiding experiences that everybody else has in college and middle school of like, oh, I have friends that did a lot of drugs in middle school, which sounds crazy to me. I don't know how I would have functioned at all.
Yeah,
and now don't do it at all. Or or do only one, you know what I mean? Like they have formed their own experiences and their own regulation and their own moral codes or ethical codes or health codes based off of their own experience instead of having been told what to do and how to do it. And I know Mormons will be like, well, but like drug addicts. And it's like, yeah, one in however many people will like suffer the same problems that they do with sugar. Sure. You know what I mean?
And
like
also,
addict behavior does not mean drugs. You don't become an addict by doing drugs.
No. And in fact, like shame around substances oftentimes leads to secrecy, which then addiction can.
100%.
I think addiction, I actually need to look more into this, so don't quote me. But I do think addiction, I mean, Utah is like highest opiate, whatever. Yeah. Like there's connections there because of the shame.
Totally.
Because people don't have experiences to learn how to regulate themselves. So when they maybe do, then they go crazy, Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think there's benefits along those lines too. I think that's totally true. I think there's a lot of benefits. I've talked about this. Like, I'm glad in a lot of ways that I came to substances later on in my life because
same.
at this stage in my life, I'm like, I really, more than anything, not more than anything, but I really highly prioritize health, not in the element of like even long-term health, although maybe I'm starting to more so, but more so like I don't want to have a headache all day tomorrow.
Totally.
I can't be throwing up because I have kids to take care of. And so I'm able to more regulate that way. I do appreciate you saying that. And I don't think like it's a problem for me necessarily, but I do think it's important to like take steps back and just like look at things. But then for me, when I take a step back and look at things, even with Diet Coke, that might even sound crazy, but I feel it's difficult to separate wanting to like do something to be better and to progress from shame. Because if I say, okay, I need to stop drinking, I want to stop drinking Diet Coke. Oh, now I feel shame if that I have been, or that, do you know what I'm saying? Like those are so interconnected in my brain.
Totally.
And it's really hard to rewire that and be like, no, this is just something I'm choosing to do and I want to do. Because to your point, when you spend so much of your life being told to do certain things, then those pathways are like, I feel like very connected to guilt and shame.
Totally. And then, and then once you don't no longer have these parameters that have been set for you, it's hard to self-regulate. You know what I mean? Yeah, I totally agree. And then it's hard to know what normal is. You know what I mean? Because then it was even within a normal lens of like, well, everybody drinks. It's like, that's what Mormons be like, that's so wild. Yeah, everybody does drink. You know what I mean? And like that voice goes through my head of like, oh yeah, I have a drink on the weekend with my friends, or a few drinks, whatever, which is deeply the norm for centuries and thousands of years across every single generation and culture. Globally, probably everybody's getting fucking shit-faced on other planets too. Let's hope so. Collabs of Ibiza rave, 100%.
Rave.
And obsessed.
Wait, what was our club name? Was it something? It wasn't Collab. It was Outer Darkness. I think it was Outer Darkness.
No, that was girls' camp after hours, after dark. Outer Darkness or something we were talking about, right?
And making it a club, like a crazy rave club. I went to a club, I need to tell you about Sweden.
Wait, yeah, you went to a club in Sweden?
Like a crazy club.
It
was so
like strippers?
Fun.
Or like what?
It wasn't, I mean, it's probably not even crazy.
Like there was loud music and alcohol.
I'm like, people were dancing and lights were flashing. No, actually, I do think it was kind of crazy. Well, this all connects too, because I just went to Sweden. Europe. We were there for a wedding. Long story. I feel like I've talked about it, but we were there for a wedding, and part of the wedding, I love how they like had the weekend, but there was the ceremony, then they did like an after party, then they did a day off, and then they did a day where we all met up for like drinks and clubbing.
That's so cute.
Which was so fun.
Cute.
No, it was so fun.
It's like everyone's there for the event, not just like look at people at the reception and then leave for 20 minutes.
It was so perfect. It was such a magical wedding. Everyone there, this is a separate tangent, but everyone there was mostly from either California or New York, or they were like born and raised in one of those places and then had moved to the other. So much crossover. I didn't realize the extent of the crossover.
No, LA and New York are the same city.
It's
like I know
crazy.
Tons of people in New York just from them being friends of my friends. I like go out to bars in New York, and I've never lived there, and I'll know people there because of how much people in New York spend time in LA and vice versa. And
move back and forth.
All the time.
No, it was weird. I was like, oh, this is crazy. But I actually wanted to talk to you about this for a different reason too. It was such an interesting thing because Bentley and I were the only ex-Mormons. Actually, we did meet one other guy. A lot of them were from Orange County. I'm like, there's got to be a Mormon here. And one of them,
there always is.
There always is. We did meet an ex-Mormon guy, but everyone was there like our age, and they would be like, oh, you know, asking the normal questions like, how long have you two been together? And I felt like I had to tell everyone I was Mormon, or else.
Because why the fuck would you be together for that long and have like 15-year-old daughters?
Right?
Yeah.
But I started feeling like kind of crazy. Like, I hope I'm not being this girl that's like, well, I'm ex-Mormon. But I was like, I literally, this is such a part of my story. I have to explain to you, like, Bentley and I are coming up on our 10-year wedding anniversary.
That's crazy.
10 years.
I'm like about to turn 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so I was trying to explain to these people like, yeah, but this is why. And it was so, I just don't feel like I've ever been that much the outsider in the ex-Mormon way.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about you and your life in LA, which is very different because you're not married with kids. So there's not as much like maybe necessity to like feel the need to like explain that away. But I'm curious, living in a place like LA, how much ex-Mormonism comes up if you try to steer away from it, if you enjoy talking about it, if it's embarrassing. How do you relate to the ex-Mormon identity being someone who's now like so far away from it?
Yeah, totally. I feel like actually for the first time, it's something... I was doing something about this last week. I feel like it's the first thing that I tell people because number one, my work capitalizes on it a lot of times. And a lot of my healing and like internal monologue is based off of like confronting and reformatting, recontextualizing like all the things I hated and then making money and like getting notoriety and like success within my career as a director. And
Seriously. You address a lot of Mormon
topics,
themes.
subjects, visuals, whatever. But that being said, I have noticed that it is so much less intriguing to me to talk about. But often people are like, oh, you started drinking when you were 25, or like, or the amount of people that I've dated, or the amount of long-term relationships I've been in, or the lack of relationship with my family in some ways, or like every single gay person every single day says, oh my God, you haven't seen that? I hear that 12 times a day, every single day, to just some random supposedly gay canon thing. Every single, how many movies can I watch to make up for 25 years of being like excluded from pop culture and like not able to watch MTV and not hear that one Missy Elliott song and know that one verse? You know what I mean? Like, so I find it that it comes up all the time because I do have to like kind of explain away things often. Sense. And it's like, you know, like my OCDs were like scrupulosities, like religiously induced and like triggered often. And like,
and you went on a mission, like the way that
I speak Spanish and I'll speak Spanish with whatever the person that.
And they're like, why do you speak such good Spanish? Yeah,
totally. And like, it's every day. Plus, as we all know, all Mormons are gay. Just everyone's gay. Everyone's gay, but like all Mormons gay. Especially. Did we talk about this last time of like my theory?
All Mormons being gay? No, please.
Okay, here's the thing. This is a stretch, but like obviously you don't become gay inside of a cult. Like you're born gay, right? Which my mom asked me again if I was gay yesterday to come out to her again for like the 25th time. She has Alzheimer's and dementia.
You get to come out to her so many times.
It's such a fun thing to do. What a gift. It wasn't hard the first time at all. But this is probably gonna like ping some people's.
Can't wait.
People are gonna be kind of pissed about this maybe, but you're not gay. You don't become gay if you're born inside of Mormonism, right? So then why are there so many fucking gay Mormons? There's so many gay Mormons. I'll meet people in LA that are like, oh, that gay Mormon politician, I jerk off with him in Provincetown every summer. He comes to my house and leaves his 5 kids. Whoa. And his emails, but like certain named people who are political figures in
that
Utah,
are Mormon. Yeah.
That are Mormon. Are fucking gay and are having sex with boys, which like who doesn't want to have sex with boys? Of course. I do. Me?
We both do.
2 for 2? Everyone's gay.
100% chance.
Of course. Maybe it's not even that all Mormons are gay, it's just that all Mormons want to have sex with boys, regardless.
Maybe that's it. No, there's some sweet lesbian Mormons.
The lesbians listening and non-binary and trans lesbians are like literally suck my dick, bitch. Yeah.
Not fuck boys. Fuck boys.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, obviously.
Which we also honor.
And
I'm actually jealous of in a lot of ways.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst demographic to date in the whole world are boys.
Yeah.
Hands down. But wieners.
What can you do?
Anyway, you're not gay if you're Mormon. You don't become gay if you're born into a cult. So why are there so many gay Mormons? This is a stretch. Add to it, take away from it. Thinking about like the goodness of the world, right? Like Mother Nature responding catastrophes to like wipe out awful power plant. Like there is definitely don't believe in God, but like I do believe in energy. I don't want to say I believe in the earth. That makes me want to kill myself. I love the earth, and like there's something going on that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's way more powerful
Agreed.
than us, right? So seeing Mormonism as the absolute virus that it is, of like highest teen suicides, whatever, all the awful facts that we know about Mormonism, of the evil things that it does to people and can cause people to do. Would this Mother Earth not try to regulate something that like hurts the inhabitants so much, and so much so that like queer people reproduce at a way lower rate? And so the more gay people inside the church, the less babies to like prolong generationally the existence of Mormonism.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, like, what does that fucking base off of? But I just thought it was interesting.
No, that's so interesting. I thought you were going to say it's like nature balancing out, because gay people are the antithesis of all the terrible things about the church.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
The rigidity and the traditional structures. And so like the more gay people, although unfortunately many of them are closeted.
And like have to fall into the regimented stuff. But
But there's like, I was talking about this.
Pervasive energy.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Bentley the other day, and I really do want you to correct me, because I so bad don't want to like have this come off like, I'll just say it and then you can correct me. But Bentley was just talking about how increasingly he has the opportunity to be on sets with queer people, like more and more.
Yeah.
And like lately he's had a lot of people in his department specifically, because he's the DP. So he's over the Department of Photography. And so he is just interacting with people really closely. And he was talking about like truly what an honor it is for him to be like interacting so closely with queer people. And I was just like, it kind of hit me in a different way. I feel like I think about this specifically with transgender people, like the beauty of just completely like blowing up the gender construct in a way that many queer people do, whether it's transgender people or non-binary people or just queer people generally, and how that's just like such a better way to live.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess my hesitation is like, I don't want to be like, like romanticizing what is often also incredibly difficult and which society like punishes at every turn, particularly in America, particularly within high demand religion. But I guess I just feel like there's these structures that keep so many people down, and queerness seems like
it's just like genuinely the biggest fuck you.
Yes.
And like
to all of those structures.
Totally. I mean, let me put one parameter on there with trans people and for our trans community, which we love and protect, and particularly Black trans women more than anyone else, obviously, in the whole like queer spectrum. Gender is kind of a different thing to trans people than it is to like non-binary people and kind of gay people in general. So I'm going to say something within putting parameters on it that this is not everybody's experience, and to say that like gender isn't real can be also really invalidating to people who are trans, who identify with,
good point.
Not necessarily their body, or, are trans non-binary, and like what that can mean. So what I'm about to say, fully knowing that all, is that like gender's not fucking real. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about this, like, why do you think, like, but people are like, but that's a boy, and it's like, but what is a boy? Like, genuinely, and not like in the annoying queer woke way, but like, who told you what a boy is, and who said that like a boy has a penis? And like, the Republicans will come for like T levels or like estrogen levels. Well, I know a lot of intersex people that have higher T than I do and have a fucking vulva.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or don't have balls and do still produce. Like, there are just so many different variations that can't be accounted for within this rigid structure of like, you know what I mean? Like, you know me, I have like a really femme energy and femme spirit, and like I go back and forth often, and not in just like a playful way, but like my manifestation changes years at a time. You know what I mean? It's so fascinating that like, what even is the semantics or the etymology of like a boy and a girl? Because like two-spirit people have existed since the dawn of time. Trans people have always been around. Queer people have always been here, and it wasn't even demonized until you know what I mean, like in Catholicism, Christianity, whatever. So to just kind of think about it being this like rigid structure of like, well, we need to keep men and women. It's like, what the fuck even is a woman? You know what I mean?
And if you ever press someone on it, to your point, it crumbles,
collapses
completely.
Immediately.
I will link this podcast
because like what a prophet said for your like pedophile religion, or like some political leader said, like what authority does that have to like regulate everybody's perception of a gender?
Yes. And why does it matter so much to people?
Totally.
I've been thinking a lot about this. I'm trying to think. There's another podcast I'll try to think of, but there's a podcast I listened to a while ago, and it was about sports, specifically running, and the history of basically dividing people by gender, in air quotes, for competition.
For sex.
For running.
Yeah, copy.
And yeah, sex is probably the right term. And it was so fascinating to listen to because, first of all, the definition has changed.
Yeah.
There are definitions now based on testosterone levels that have basically made it so that people who identify as women, who have traditional female
Assigned
genitalia,
female birth,
yes, their testosterone levels are too high.
To compete with other femme women assigned female at birth with similar vulvas.
Exactly.
Copy.
And it's just like...
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's a really interesting
And then
podcast.
It's like, yeah, so there's a fucking line at which you like lose your femininity, and then trans women like can't...
And
like,
there's all sorts of like PCOS. You can have high testosterone if you have PCOS, which is a condition that people have. Like it just crumbles so quickly. And I feel like the absolute clinging on adherence that so many people have, especially in religion, especially I feel like in Mormonism, like Mormonism somehow seems like one of them that's like hanging on so tightly to this still.
Project the traditional faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, to your point, what even is that?
Right.
It all crumbles so quickly. And I can't even remember why we started down this whole entire tangent, but I think it's...
Bentley on queer sets.
Yes. I mean, this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. I feel like we're not wrapping up anything. Sorry, everyone. That's just how it's going to be. One issue I've personally encountered with self-help books is that they can be very helpful while reading, but very difficult to actually apply, which is why The Life Compass 111 Rules for Navigating Personal Growth by Samir Abdo is so useful because it focuses on turning fleeting inspiration into actual change. The way this book bridges the gap between insight and action is through 111 rules that span 11 areas of growth. To give you an idea, these areas include inner peace and authenticity, relationships, and conflict. The rules are really practical, and they're also given with real-life examples and reflection tools. Some of my favorites: other people's opinions of you are not your business, and avoid the if-then model for happiness. These are things I'm always working on, so having advice I can actually integrate is really helpful. Abdo also quotes throughout the book from some of the wisest people ever, people like Rumi, Robert Greene, Marcus Aurelius, which really helps drive the learning home. And the book also includes a reflection questionnaire and integration process. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes, and it can be used daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on what you need. This ensures that the wisdom isn't just read, but that it really becomes a part of how you live and grow every day. The Life Compass 111 Rules for Navigating Personal Growth is available now because finding wisdom is important, but integrating it into lasting change, that's the real transformation. Bentley and I are very seriously thinking about moving again to your backyard.
Fits.
I just think that, and this is a really hard thing to talk about just because, number one, moving is a privilege, right? And I feel like there's a thing where I understand. I mean, I live in Utah. I grew up in Utah, as did you. I do think that there's so much that can be said for Utah. So I want to just speak personally right now because people ask me all the time about Utah. I actually think that there are pockets of Utah that are incredible places to live.
Absolutely.
Bentley and I are just feeling more so than anything based on our children that we want them to experience just different than we did.
Yeah.
And so much of that is just by being in proximity with people who are different
than you.
And like that's so much harder to come by.
Totally.
In certain parts if not many parts of Utah.
I mean, and also a million parts in the country. You know what I mean?
Good
like,
point.
All
Yeah.
middle America, I mean, is just deeply homogenous and like primarily Christian or Protestant or Catholic and white as shit and Republican as shit. And so it's like, how much can you grow or learn? I was actually kind of having this conversation of like empathy and what makes a person empathetic and a big empath is having lived and seen more than other people and having chosen to use. I was having this conversation with my boyfriend of like, where do you think your empathy stems from, or your ability to kind of see beyond your years? Really wise.
Yeah, what a question.
I'm kind of the wisest girl you've ever met in your life.
Did you ask your boyfriend that in Europe?
Different boyfriend. You can't have all those experiences in Utah, or again, a lot of other places or it's really hard to come by those experiences in a lot of homogenous places. And like, we've talked about this forever of like, we just didn't see faggots walking around. Like, we didn't see trans people walking around. And so then like this further demonization that took us way longer to unravel than it could, it's like, my boyfriend and I are in a very complex situation, and his daughter just sees nice queer people handling things and sees different iterations of people and the moms at the school. It's like, you aren't afraid of things that you have seen closely.
Yep.
And the more people that you love and are exposed to at a younger age that you understand are wise and lovely and sweet, the less fucking queer fear-mongering or like Christian dogma can even like sway your brain, because you're just like, oh wait, no, like trans people are evil. No, I grew up with trans people.
Yeah.
I love trans people.
Yeah.
Trans people raised me.
My favorite people are trans. My friends are trans. My family is trans. Like,
I know, and I just like, I'm so happy to hear that. And I know that that's like been on the docket for a long time, because there's a lot of good things here, right? And you're close to family and close to childcare, blah, 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 blah. But your kids just won't see what they could see. Yeah, fear just leaves when you see other people closely.
And just thinking about the impact of culture, I was randomly talking about this with someone who's moving out of Utah, and you'll find this really interesting, but they have a son who's turning 7, and he, I think, wants to play baseball or football. And it is crazy the intensity of sports here in Utah at 7 years old. Oh, soccer. He wants to play soccer. And all of their friends were like, oh, if he wants to play soccer for real, like he needs to be on a club team now. And he's 7. And they were talking about that. And they were like, we don't know. That might seem like a small thing, but they were like, we don't know if we want to live in a place that is like so sports obsessed and so competitive, even with kids. And now I've been thinking of that and thinking like, oh, that impacts children, is like what the culture prioritizes. Yep. And, you know, depending on which place you live, to your point, there's tons of places that are like that. But then there's also places where it's not as big of a deal when you're 7 if you're good at football. And I would prefer that over...
Well, I mean, like Mormonism's like core doctrine is BYU football. It's like literally in the Doctrine and Covenants. Like Cosmo, the gayest thing ever made, is like...
Who was literally gay. It was Charlie Bird.
Prophet, right. That's a whole other conversation. But
we don't need to talk about Charlie Bird today.
Tomorrow.
Cosmo the Cougar, BYU football being the most core Mormon doctrine of all.
Most core Mormon doctrine. Right. I like... Which also actually leads to another conversation. Do you remember in college when people who weren't from here, Mormons, who were born and raised Mormons, would come to BYU and say, I can't take the pressure and the stress of the intersocial competition? Mm-hmm. I heard that multiple times.
Academic competition as well.
Totally. And I started thinking about this of like, why is there such a hyper pressurized thing? Because Mormonism loves rich people, loves like generational wealth, loves doctors, loves lawyers, all these like
prestige,
corporate prestige, traditional values, status, money, wealth, power. Weird. What is it that causes this pressure? And due to, again, hyper control of Mormonism, there is not much autonomy or individuality outside of inside of Mormonism, because like no piercings, no tattoos, and people might roll their eyes and be like, that doesn't make you individual. It totally doesn't. But there is no outside self-expression, like even clothing, which is a big part of culture globally, historically.
Huge.
How you dress yourself, what you wear, like obviously that's why there's so many different ways to do it. You know what I mean? It's important to people. So like limiting that, limiting language, limiting tattoos, limiting jewelry, limiting like, I mean, there's like a big rejection of like anything nice, right? Like you must be frugal. And like, so what is there then to be individual? You are the best fucking piano player in PV5, you know, or in the Sharon East steak, bitch, you will practice 7 hours a day. And like, or you will be the best, like, doctor, you know what I mean? Like, people are dying for individuality inside this homogenous, everybody looks the same here and everybody has the same parents. I think that's where the competition stems from.
Yeah.
Of like,
it's the only way to like differentiate. It's to
literally
be the best at the thing everyone's trying to be.
Yeah, whatever it may be, which is like literally music or like football.
Yeah.
You know, or like academics.
Yeah.
Like what else?
It's interesting you say that. I'm curious
I
where
don't know.
you're at.
Is that?
Oh yeah, totally.
I think it's fascinating.
I think that's a huge part of it. I think this is one of the things that I'm realizing for me, and I'm curious if and how this shows up for you, because I think it probably does. And obviously some of this is personality. Like you and I have been so competitive with each other, with each other specifically since third grade, with test scores, with athletics, with
That's how I reminded my
popularity.
dementia mom today of who you were. I said, remember my bestie who I always was in competition with? And she said, oh yeah, Haley. That like jarred her memory. I'm not kidding.
Because it's true.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it was like the quiz bowl. It was emceeing. Luckily, we both got to MC. What was it? The 6th grade, whatever, final show.
Yeah. Big day.
Did you get a good part in the 6th grade plays? Sorry, the 4th grade plays?
I think mine was like, weren't you like Persephone or something?
I was Echo.
Yeah, you were Echo. I think
Beat
mine
out
was.
Charlene Humphreys.
I think that mine was not massively consequential, but
then,
I think I was named. I think I saw the named part. I wasn't a
later
tree.
On, when my musical theater career fizzled, so pathetically,
I got picked at the Disney Channel original movie auditions. Right.
You were in Minor Details.
I got the script. Jeanette McCurdy, our Lord and Savior.
You were in an actual.
Does she follow you?
So bad, no. I need to find a way to get to her.
I'll call
really
Jeanette.
Want her? Please find her for me.
I'll call Lauren Faber.
Anyway, your musical theater acting career really took off in a way that mine never did. So congratulations.
I got one call back and then fired.
Honestly, much farther than I ever got.
Yeah, bitch, that's true.
I still have, not against you, but so much of that in me. And it's a huge theme of therapy is like, you don't have to be the best at anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to, it's just perfectionism. It's like not groundbreaking or anything.
Yeah.
But I do feel sometimes misunderstood on that front because of how much that thing you were talking about comes into play and how much I think
self-worth and winning.
Yes. And Mormonism really prioritizes achievement.
Totally.
It's very metric based.
100%.
It's very much, did you get your Young Women's Medallion? Did you become an Eagle Scout? Yep.
Yeah, all the levels and the certain badges, like it's quantifiable.
Yep,
like
it's very achievement oriented.
And then even like you go up, and then when you're a priest, you get a blessed sacrament. Like there are reward. It's a reward based ladder to climb.
Yep,
right. And
very hierarchical.
Totally.
And I think that has done, because my personality tends to be that way anyway. That is like one of the biggest things I'm realizing like makes me miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like holding myself to certain standards and just feeling like I have to be
also
perfect.
Nobody else is ever holding you to.
And no one cares.
Nobody fucking cares.
But I feel like you're still this way to an extent.
100%.
Yeah.
Like deeply, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I like am kind of allowed to play board games with people now, kind of. But if you're in the room, I think that might change again. Remember how I like literally like couldn't really play that game where we'd ask the questions at the left?
Sure. Well, yeah, but that's not a board game.
Yeah, I mean,
like
just like
charades
whatever. Like
types of games, you couldn't play with me because I would always win.
Yeah, right. We were always on the same team. Remember, girls win, girls deserve to win. I was always on the girls team. It was girls in tan. Thank God. And we always crushed all your bozo ass husbands.
So embarrassing
Clark,
for them.
Bent, Niels, fucking girl vulva bitch. Jesus.
Get on the girls team if you want to win
Get on the
anything.
girls. Remember they like tried and I was like, no, I'm on the girls team. Like we're not switching teams. You guys suck at this game. We're gonna beat your asses.
That's another really Mormon thing, is being number one, playing games.
Oh yeah. I
At
don't play
all.
the games since after church.
And number two, thinking it was normal. And number 3, being so intense about games.
No.
We were weird about like literally charades.
No, we would like literally get in like genuine fights.
Actual fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
had to ban certain games and like set ground rules. Yeah. Maybe that was just an us thing. But I think
all the
it's
other
more,
Mormons are like, no,
well, everyone
bro.
else in college is just like drinking alcohol and
well,
going to
yeah,
parties.
I mean, like we would like make bake cookies on a Friday night and like retire at 9:40, you know, like, and everybody else is like, I was like literally smoking crack on the street with my frat leader, like taking 12 loads, you know.
I know.
And now that's what my life looks like now. I'm making it all the way back. Regression.
I want to know. You kind of hinted at this.
Podcast.
I know, we've just tied everything up so beautifully.
Yeah,
so many
stunning.
conversations have met their narrative arc. I do still want to tell you about the club in Sweden. That's the only one. Before this question, I will tell you about the club in Sweden. It was so fun. And I think that's one thing that I'm like trying to not be shy about or embarrassed of. I didn't want anyone there to know, but I'm like, no one knows this is like literally my first time even at a club.
I didn't know that.
I've never been to a club. You've never taken me.
You've taken me to bars?
Yeah, but not like a club.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, I don't even know what a club is. Maybe it's different. But it was like, obviously there's drinking and stuff.
Crazy colored lights and like a production, right?
So it wasn't just a club. It was like it almost was like an outdoor, like there was different rooms and there's like different vibes in different rooms and like that. There was like food trucks there. But like I have never been like was this dancing. Like there was like, you know, charades room.
Somebody's doing a lesson.
It was like dancing, like tight person to person, like very loud music and lights. I've never done that.
Oh, bitch, I can't. Okay.
The closest I've ever come is like in your garage when we were like, when we would dance.
Honestly, that was the original club.
Honestly, and nothing will ever beat it.
No, totally.
Nothing will ever beat our sober dancing, probably, unfortunately. But it was so fun, and I'm trying to. There's something really beautiful about that. Like being a 30-year-old woman with kids at home with grandma, and just like being with Bentley and these like new friends in Sweden and being like, this is my first time at a club. I'm just appreciating that for what it is, even though the timeline is like very, very, very skewed, you know?
Totally. But that makes me really happy to hear.
Thanks.
Because there is like just so much beauty in things that we just weren't allowed to have.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And we will appreciate them differently.
Totally.
Maybe always.
I mean, like, I'm so glad, like, I never blacked out with vodka and, like, a frat. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so glad to have, like, graduated college with a really good GPA.
What was your GPA?
I think in college it was, like, 3.94 or something. I'm
so glad you brought this up. I bet you had a higher one in college than me. We got in trouble. I think I told you this, but I can't remember if I told you. But I do, like, an anonymous submission box every Sunday.
Oh, the ACT
I've been doing it for years.
The ACT scores, please roll this back. Remind me.
So we were joking about ACT scores. And I was saying you wouldn't date girls unless they had a certain ACT score. And then you're like, yeah, and I stand by that. Like, if you didn't get I don't remember your metric. Yeah. But someone in this question box was like, yeah, like, you and Tanner, that was like really hurtful about the ACT scores. So I just am here to say that I meant every word. Literally, Bentley's ACT score was not high. Like, I don't give a fuck, but like totally. I did, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
Were you a 29?
Yeah. My boyfriend asked me, what did you get on the SAT? And I was like, I did take it once, but I can't remember my score. But I remember.
You took the SAT?
Yeah, because I remember I wanted to get the fuck out of here. And instead went to like.
Same. And then I went on to BYU and then a mission.
Yeah.
I didn't know you took
the SAT one time. I think my first time I took the ACT, I got a 26. And I want to say I took the SAT right after and got a comparable score. But then I took the ACT again and got a 29. And I can't remember if it was comparable to the first or the second ACT test. But I want to say the first. Yeah, be smart or you can't have sex with me.
And we'll make fun of you on this podcast.
My Grindr bio, everyone else is like, looking for head, like, blah, 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 blah. My Grindr bio says, if you're not interesting, you can't have sex with me.
Now you just need to add an ACT score cutoff. What is it?
Not age limit.
A lot of hot boys didn't get high ACT scores. Bentley didn't get a high ACT score.
That's true.
So you got to think.
I'm going to have to get back to this.
You got to think carefully.
I'm going to think about my cutoff.
There are different metrics. That's the thing. Yeah. There are very different, like, it really is not the ACT score.
Is book smart.
It means something, but
it also
doesn't
means
mean
like
everything.
attention span or like
Sure.
can I focus on it? Basically, it's a level of how ADHD or not
Honestly,
ADHD
probably.
you are.
Honestly, probably. Yeah.
Bentley or King.
I know, or Sweet King. Like,
Sweet King, ADHD King. I have so many ADHD best friends in my life, actually. I would say
feel like
most of my friends are like struggle with ADHD.
And so many people around me lately are
like
getting
neurodivergent.
Yeah. Autism diagnosis.
Yeah, totally. And I know the right's like, I do think there's a little bit perhaps more not overdiagnosis by any means, but it's also like now everyone's like, I'm queer. And it's like, are you? Or is it like kind of chic?
Yeah.
Is it kind of chic to be queer and autistic?
Yeah.
And then does the internet make it really funny to like make gay and autistic jokes? Totally. Like, not like against, but to be like, I'm gay and autistic is like a trend everywhere. Online.
Really? That the pairing of those? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff I gotta send you. There's a lot of stuff
Please
I gotta send.
You're not even on TikTok. Where are you seeing stuff? Instagram?
Poor boy Reels.
Tanner.
Isn't it so? It's like so poor.
It's really what it is millennial.
It's chuggy and millennial. No, it's embarrassing.
In your line of work, I really think.
Okay.
I know we've talked about it. You're not on TikTok for anyone listening.
I'm not on TikTok, but I'm on Instagram, and you can find me at Tantron. We've talked about TikTok, and I don't like it, but I love when my friends think that I like something so much that they will then screen record them and send to me. Or you can download. That's right.
Yeah.
My thing with TikTok actually, and we've talked about this about within music video, like fatigue, right? Have we had this conversation of just like, I think the rejection of TikTok and UGC, user generated content, and like this quick, like, get ready with me, this like low profile, low brow, literally took nothing to make, get ready with me, which is not bad or anything. I don't hate it. It's just that I think people are finding frustrated with like the lack of finesse or structure or artistic quality of kind of
or
everything.
Like production value even?
Yeah. Or thoughtfulness or and so similar to like kind of a rejection of digital cameras and a movement back to film, I think that, and I hope that even specifically within like music video genre, that like we are going to reject this kind of like mind numbing doom scrolling content of people that you don't care about and kind of move back to an art form within music video, which obviously benefits me and Bentley really a lot because that's what we do. But I just like, I think I would lose all hours of my day on it, just like everybody else does. But I also just like don't care. Like I care because like there's social stuff that I miss out on, right? But like I'm not like inspired by TikToks, like maybe like high weird art, psychotic ones of like you know what to expect. But like I don't want to spend my time watching Get Ready with Me's, even though I occasionally do on Reels, and I'm like, yeah, I consume them.
Yeah.
But I just like don't want to put myself in a space where
that's like constantly
what I am going to be
your
seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's an interesting conversation. Bentley and I talk about this a lot because my world is content creation with podcasting, with YouTubing, and with Instagram and TikTok. And his world is, if you're going to make a 30-second commercial, it's going to be $100,000 and you're going to have, however many people, huge crew of people. I'm curious to see what happens, and I'm curious the way that things either completely push back in the way you're describing, or if things just like integrate, or if it's like, I was saying this to Bentley because I'll get brand deals here and there, and I was like, we could just be doing these brand deals I get like a commercial. We have the equipment. Yeah. We have friends that would like be down to do it.
Totally.
And I'm kind of feeling more drawn to that now. But the thing is, with these platforms, it's like the best performing videos I ever do are me setting up my camera and speaking to it.
Yeah, totally.
Period. So, that's a very interesting thing to think about. But I think there's a lot of value to that.
I know. And then the reward, like you're saying, highest performing is like the lowest.
Yeah.
Production
but it depends what you value as a consumer, right? And to your point, it's like, there's I think a lot to be said about consumers now undervaluing what makes something art.
Yeah.
And I think we're even seeing this. There are so many TV shows that come out that have A-list actors that have an insane budget, and they are trash. Yeah. They are so bad. Like, they're bad. Poorly written, look stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are these things getting made? And maybe to your point, maybe that's a lot of it, is people just maybe don't care as much as they used to. I don't know. I went and saw
Freakier Friday.
Tell me. I haven't seen it. I have no interest. So
I love Freaky Friday with my whole heart and soul.
Okay.
It's like my childhood thing. But that being said, I was excited for it. I didn't have all these crazy expectations. I hate sequels like this.
You just went for like
my friend was like, want to do something really ugly? So we went to the Americana and watched
fun.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
It was so deeply unwatchable.
That bad.
I was dripping sweat because of, I'm not kidding, the cadence. Jamie Lee Curtis, who I like, I can't remember, she is like canceled for some reason. She's like some Zionist or something, but
think of all the charm of the first one.
The charm's perfect. They have the entire cast. Every single person in Freaky Friday 1 is in Freaky Friday.
And it was bad.
Everyone.
Was it soulless?
It was soulless, and it was just a reiteration. It was also deeply confusing because they like all, spoiler alert, they like all switch roles, like 4 people switch roles with like their stepdaughters.
See, ideas like that, I can tell you immediately
Yeah.
that's a bad idea.
I literally,
I'm sorry,
for
that's
the
a bad
entire
idea.
film, couldn't remember who was supposed to be who. And it was just because, spoiler, Lindsay switches with her daughter, and then Jamie Lee switches with the daughter of the girl that Lindsay's marrying. So, like, gonna be her new step granddaughter. And it's weird because, like, they don't really have a relation. It's weird. Me and my friend were talking about how the editing felt like a TikTok edit movie.
Ooh.
The first 20 minutes of the movie are like mind-boggling. Like, you have no idea what to follow. They have like all these weird like jumps and surprises of like things that haven't been worked up. It was bizarre. I don't know how I know how it got funded because like great IP, but it was horrific. And I was genuinely like, how much longer could this possibly be? And I was like really excited to be done with it. And it's like fucking 2 hours. It's so long.
Always.
So long.
Always.
It was
every movie.
It was so bad, Haley. And I
have to watch it
I was
now.
genuinely ready. I
get
was
hyped.
ready to laugh at some quirks.
Sure.
But like
you weren't going into it to be like, this is going to be stupid. You were like, I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is. And even still.
And I was ready for it to be stupid. And
it was even worse.
It was awful. Like, you know how Jamie Lee Curtis goes like, I'm the crypt keeper, like kind of into the camera. Mm-hmm. They do that same joke again, but like with like a grave keeper, like slightly off. They recycled all the same jokes and the same cadence the whole time. And then, hey, they did it like 6 times, like 6 different times. Jamie Lee Curtis
To
like
the crypt keepers.
She screams into the camera like multiple times, and they're like, wow, like the over performances that like could hit when you're 10, but like
Sure.
I found it bizarre. I don't know what executives were like, yeah, this is it, this is the edit. It was fascinating. So that's
Honestly,
why I don't know,
that
people
is
have awful taste these days.
so interesting to think about, because one of the biggest changes I have made this year, biggest change, guess what it is? Dun, dun, dun.
What?
I'm reading again.
Oh shit.
And I'm reading a fuck ton.
Wait, you loved reading your whole life.
It's so nice to be reading again.
It literally,
Because
it settles my heart.
It's the antithesis of this, too.
Yeah.
We need, and I'm not even saying we need movie adaptations of every book, because oftentimes those are bad. But I'm like, oh, this is like the antidote in so many ways. And I love movies. And I think I actually saw Eddington. Have you seen the Eddington yet?
I haven't. Isn't that what's his face?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Ari Aster's.
Yeah.
And
I've heard mixed things, but I don't really know much about it.
it's worth a watch for
Okay.
sure. I think, I mean, it's so different too than like these types of movies we're talking about. I had my issues with it, but it's like, it's not,
Yeah.
Freaky Friday too, Freakier Friday. But reading again, it just makes me feel like I've been thinking a lot about this too, like the power of references, which is obviously so massive in your work as an artist. And it's so massive in Bentley's work as a cinematographer. But I've been thinking about, I sit here on a mic and I talk for hours at a time. I also am only as good as my references.
Totally.
And if I'm reading interesting things, I'm thinking more interesting thoughts. I have more interesting things to pull from. I'm making more interesting connections.
And not even like just from that book, but like the connections that you make from that book that remind you of what you read in the
or the book.
Totally.
I just finished listening to Everything is Tuberculosis, which I weirdly really loved. It's by John Green, who wrote The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah.
Random, but it's completely different. And then he is referencing Kurt Vonnegut.
Love.
And I'm like, oh my, it's just... Anyway, I've just been thinking about like the power of that, especially as artists. And to your point, like how much time, even if, say what you will about TikTok, but like what is just the time cost and the energy cost.
Totally.
And I started realizing that my books had become podcasts. Instead of listening to books or reading books, I was listening to podcasts. And then it was like everything had kind of taken a step down in like caliber of media, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then my reality TV, basically now podcasts are my reality TV.
You're like trash listen to, and you're like what you're paying attention to,
Yeah.
and like pulling from.
Yeah.
Are your books again?
And it's a
your little books. Pulling from your little books, Hal.
Just my little books.
Cute.
Okay, I want to ask you this question because I'm so scared to look at the time.
Me
Oh,
too.
it's not bad. 1 hour, 10 minutes.
Great.
We can go for like 15 more minutes.
Great.
I want to hear what you believe now. And we actually don't. I've been thinking a lot about this because thinking about like the premise of my podcast and different ways I've kind of explored going to like not be so Mormon, steeped in Mormonism. It's kind of interesting how little people talk about what they believe.
Yeah.
And particularly outside of a religious context. And like as I've like shoot for the stars dreaming of like the, you know, best possible outcome for this podcast, I'm like, it'd be really fun to do what so many of these podcasts are doing, like interviewing big people of our day, but just talking about beliefs.
Yeah.
Like, what do you believe and why? Not even necessarily religion,
Yeah.
but like beliefs. And,
Yeah, totally.
And I mean, it's obviously a personal thing for a lot of people, but I was just thinking that. I'm like, if someone said like, what does Tanner believe? I could probably guess, but I don't know if I would know like exactly what you would
Yeah.
say. So what do you believe?
Well, speaking of other beliefs, that's really fascinating. Well, we know that I have a current. Do you remember that? Do you remember how I have like that weird electrical current in my body?
You break shit.
My entire life, I've always broken every electric thing. This is like my 6th iteration of this phone because they just like go out and this thing stop working and they will often short out. So like we've always, we say it started off as a joke because I just broke some electrical
you're from
things.
another planet.
Thank God. That's okay. We had this conversation at breakfast at my sister and brother-in-law's house. So Lindsay uses my phone yesterday night and she's like, why is your phone broken? Reminds me of the current thing, right? I am sleeping in their basement and I'm in a room that I've never slept in before, right next to their TV, not a bedroom, like in their like bottom living room. And I wake up this morning and Jared, who is a Mormon, my brother-in-law, walks up to me and he's like, hey, Tan, kind of like weird cue for you. And I was like, where's this going? He was like, did you turn on my TV last night? And I was like, what? He was like, were you turning on the downstairs TV with your Apple phone, like your remote, your TV or whatever, your phone remote thing? And I was like, no. He's like, because right when we turned it off, it came back on and then turned back off and came back on 3 times. And then our Nintendo turned on. And I was like, no, that's weird. And Lindsay was like, oh my God, you're in the house. That's never happened before. It's your fucking current. I swear to Jesus Christ. And you know that my energy is always crazy. Every time I've gotten a read from someone or something, they're like, your energy is crazy. Like not in a bad way, just like I have a lot of it. So anyway, that's my first belief is that I have an electrical current in my body that makes electronic things break.
Yeah.
It, like knowing me though, does that not actually make a lot
100%.
of sense?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally. But we can edit that out and I'll do another tangents here. If
No,
it's not even interesting.
No, it's
but
I actually am super fascinated by that.
I like
and
actually
I'm already
like
thinking
looked
a lot
and
of
there's
things.
like some Reddit things
No, I
and
believe
just like
it.
the repression of my childhood of like my bursting out of my body always.
This is part of like, yeah, I'm going to let you go, but actually I'm going to say something quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like I've become so skeptical and cynical and boring around spirituality. And I'm just kind of like immediately my brain to keep me safe, I think is just like, nope, nothing's real. Ghosts aren't real. Mediums aren't real. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. I'm not going down there. I'm not going to get tricked again by anything. And I really am wanting to just like let myself have fun and think about possibilities because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
And it's not harming people to think of possibilities. And I think I know well when it could start to. So anyway, I'm excited to hear it because I feel like you seem to me also a little bit more open than maybe I feel currently to like energetic stuff.
Yeah, that's really fascinating.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I got a read from a psychic like 2 or 3 months ago that a friend recommended me to. A friend had a really crazy experience with this psychic, recommended this person to me. She was $100 is all. And she was in upstate New York and it was a 5-month wait. And everything that this woman has said to me has come true thus far.
Whoa.
And I didn't tell her anything. She was like, the next person you're going to date are in their 50s. And I was like, okay. Didn't mention anything about anyone I was dating. And she was like, not 40s, I think, like pretty sure in his 50s. My boyfriend's in his 50s. And she specifically mentioned a younger person that I was going to work with. And it was 2 days after I had booked a meeting with Robbie, the choreographer.
Yeah.
Really crazy things over and over. She was like, I think your grandpa's coming in right now. Paul, like, knew my family by name. Anyway, bizarre. But that being said, I, for the first time, I think, am so far away from Mormonism, time-wise, not necessarily in how it comes into my life, because we are working on a very exciting, important project together, which is an episodic that we'll be talking about soon. I think that this world is too fucking stupid to just be the only thing. Like, I have a goddamn credit score, and like I have to like apply to get a mortgage to finance or refinance. Like, being alive is too stupid to me to be completely it. And there's so much joy, and I experience so much joy in my family and my chosen family and my friends and my loves and the things I do and the things I make. And it's not that it's not enough, and I'm planning on something. I'm totally down to just be fucking dead, dude. But that being said, like, where I started thinking about this is that, like, I have so much love for my friends, right? Like, you know this, you've been a recipient of my love for so long. That sounds so crazy, but like, I will fucking kill for my friends. Always have, always will. And I was thinking about that, of like all the time and years and experiences that I've invested in all of my friends, and they've invested in me, and my friends would die for me too. Like, I've always had like close people around me who ride for me. I can't imagine that all going away the second one of us dies. It doesn't make sense to me, actually, for how it feels to having that sort of conclusion, meaning completely null and void and done. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, theoretically, it doesn't track. And for other people, maybe that's totally different. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's reincarnation. I don't know if there's just an energy exchange. I just know that, like, the love that I have for my friends, I just don't think immediately goes away if I get in a car accident tomorrow.
Yeah. So there is something lasting.
There is something lasting. And, like, the medium knew, and this is not all based off of her. I was in a space in which I was kind of like, okay, let me just like fucking see what this medium's going to say to me, because I have a dead brother, and I was kind of curious. One question about him, and she answered it in such a way that was so complex when I asked her about my brother's sexuality, that she could have just given me this answer of like, yes, he was. I would have been like, okay, gay dead brother. And she provided like a really interesting personal response to him that was not an easy answer for her to say, that she could have just appeased me by like giving me maybe the answer I was like subconsciously looking for. I just don't think generations of people, and like, why do we even have kids if for it to just all end? You know what I mean? Like, there are important familial and interrelational connections in this world, and what else fucking matters? Like, at the end of the day, my clothes don't matter, my house doesn't matter, my job doesn't matter. Just the people I loved and let loved me, whatever. Like that quote of like, I can't remember who it's by, but it's in Moulin Rouge also. Like, the most important thing you'll ever learn is to love and learn to be loved in return.
Oh, I actually don't know that.
It's so lovely.
I've only seen Moulin Rouge once, I think, long ago.
It's must watch every month.
Will do.
One of the most important movies of all time. I think that is what I believe, in that what I need to do most is take care of myself and love myself, and then fucking give out my love freely to everybody that wants it or that I can give it to. And I think that there is some karmic or cosmic, or not retribution. We're not getting into the celestial kingdom, right? That's not real as all. That's obviously not real.
Hopefully.
To us. I'm like, I've never done cocaine.
We're like, that's not real, right?
Never done cocaine.
If the police or Mormon God are listening.
If you're listening, Joseph, I think that's all that really can matter. There's a really good song called "Let the Mystery Be" that you should link in the things of talking about worrying about what comes next, and like your retribution and where you're going and what takes to get you to that place. And it's just like, let their mystery be, bitch. It's like an old folk song you'll love.
We've been listening to Blood Orange new album on your recommendation. Yes. My favorite new album maybe in years.
No, it's heaven. Blood Orange, Dev Hynes, absolutely sensational. My friend Eva is on like 7 of the 10 songs.
No way. Oh my gosh.
My friend. I met her once. I met her once in New York.
You're like my bestie.
Opening for a show. I'm like, actually, the girl, it's going to be my maid of honor over you, Haley. Sorry.
The girl you've known best and longest.
Yeah. It's a great album. But what about you? What about you now?
Yeah, I love that answer.
Yeah.
I really thank you for sharing that. I really love that answer. And I think that, yeah, I've been thinking kind of around the same lines. I think one of the biggest things for me is I was just going to say like the power of literature or something. But I mean, even music, that Blood Orange album, like when you're just listening, I was talking about this because we actually watched a Sabrina Carpenter music video.
Yeah. Is it the new one, Tears?
Have you seen it?
We were going to shoot this next music video in that location.
No way.
Then the location manager from Salt Lake was like, Sabrina shot there last week. It's coming out tomorrow. So you might not want to use that.
Have you seen it? The music
I fast
video?
forwarded to the video. I've seen Pizza
Okay.
Bed. I've seen Pizza Bed.
I would be curious your thoughts. But I was thinking about how there might not be, I think, a human experience more peak than being a musician and actually like reaching people with your music.
Dead ass. 100%.
I wish I was a musician. And Kurt Vonnegut has a quote about this, and he says, every writer wishes they were a musician, because there is just something about music. And it's kind of along those same lines with whether it's music, literature, art, there is something in that you can't articulate. That's kind of incomprehensible.
100%.
About,
and it sure as hell isn't the Holy Ghost.
and it sure as hell ain't being put to use in Freakier Friday too.
Yeah,
Like that's
totally.
that's kind of the differentiating factor, you know. And yeah, I think even reading again and like trying to connect in those ways, it's interesting too, because I've realized like, oh, this is how I felt the Spirit all along. Like I felt the Spirit in air quotes reading the Book of Mormon, because there's like some
gorgeous
beautiful
prose. Totally.
Yeah, there really is. Joseph Smith was plagiarizing. That's why it wasn't, because then I'm always like, wait, then was Joseph Smith kind of a good writer? But I will not give him that.
No, baby. Just
I will not give him
even
that.
a good treasure hunter.
No.
Bad treasure hunter.
Bad treasure hunter, but
Bad diviner.
decent con man, because
No, great. Sensational con man.
and pedophile.
Really good. And what?
Pedophile.
Great pedophile. Really good at being a pedophile. Kind of sensational.
All of that to say, I agree with you, but I'm kind of tinkering, wondering about things like psychics and mediums, and because why not? And I think it can be a fun thing.
Kind of how I went in of just like, is this going to be like spooky? Like, am I going to be in Spirit Halloween kind of for a second? But then she kind of read my pussy down. It was actually mind-boggling.
Also, is there anything sicker than just like a psychic? Like that's
she was
fucking sick.
She was a mom in New York in a t-shirt. Just a mom, normal, not woo-woo, not Professor Trelawney, no piercing. She was just like, I think this message like is kind of coming through.
No, people like that.
It's kind of crazy.
I would love for you to meet my friend. Oh, she's friends with your sister, Ash.
Right.
And
Ginger.
she's a palm reader.
Right.
And I always
knew
joke
this.
with her. I've said this so many times. Sorry for the listeners who've heard this a million times. But I'm like, Ash makes me believe in magic again.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
she's just like so straightforwardly like magical. And like,
100%.
I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, there's got to be something
There's got to
there.
be something.
Yeah, but I think that's really... I really like talking about this, especially, I mean, not that we dug into all things Mormonism today, which I'm glad we didn't, but in that context of like what people have been through. And I feel like you, of all people, have been through a lot in regards, especially to Mormonism stuff. It's just feels kind of really beautiful to come around to belief, but in such a different way.
Totally.
And to your point about substances, like you make the rules now, you know, and your intuition can guide, and it's just nice that we get to do that.
Well, and just to wrap this up, totally. I've been trying to really pay attention to what my body says, and not like just like the body keeps the score, but I honestly have been trying to get off of a sleeping medication, a tricyclic antidepressant called amitriptyline. Don't use it. Don't like it. And I went into my doctor for the past 3 years. Remember, I kind of had like a weird interaction with it, and I like kind of made me lose my vocabulary. I had a really scary experience with it. And since that, I've tried to get off multiple times, and it's been a catastrophe. And so I went in like a year ago to my like queen. I love my doctor, and she like literally like, I'd be like hug at like the LGBT
Really?
center.
That's
She's like,
so
she's my
nice.
queen,
Cool.
Catherine Duffy. I went in and I was like, hey, I want to get off of this pill. And she was like, okay, well, like things are going really well for you right now. Why do you want to get off of it? And I was like, okay, fair question. Here's my thoughts of how it cannot be helping me. And this may be a good place. I can wrap up with this, but I don't get, and I try to get off of it. We try to wean so slowly. It's catastrophe. It's awful. Another year goes by and I'm like, dude, it's been another year. I don't know what my baseline is anymore. And we've talked a lot about medication and like, I've tried a trillion because I'm a freak. And, I went in and I was not doing well earlier this year after our fucking Ash Nico music video. And I was like, I'm so depressed. I also want to get off this thing. She's like, well, now is not the time to get off of it when you're doing really poorly. And I was like, okay, respectfully, doctor, you also said that to me when I was doing really well. So like, when's the time? And she was like, that's so true. Okay, like, let's get a plan. Whatever. I get on Prozac to get on so that we can help wean me off this thing that I was having really bad side effects
kind of
from
as like
weaning.
a bridge.
Totally. And I just forgot it one night. And then all of a sudden my body was like, don't take that. And not in like a, that's evil or obviously anything like that. But I just one night didn't take it. And without even really thinking about it again, I didn't take it again the next night. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Okay, whatever. Just like, I've been trying to really pay attention to what my body says to these things. Not even in a muscle tester way, but just like in a gut intuitive check. And then a week later, I like bite one of my normal sleeping pills in half just because like I had had a few drinks that night and I feel like they kind of interact. And from that day forward, I have started to wean. And now I'm down to like 3 milligrams from 25 and I am so much happier. And all things considered, it did not seem like I was going to be doing okay without a medication. I'm sleeping. My hangovers are normal. I was having really crazy hangovers for not that much alcohol. I was really anxious all the time, and my anxiety has literally gone down since getting off the anxiety pill, which we did not think was contributing to my anxiety. And this is all to say, like, my doctor was like, tell me why you want to go off of it. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. I know that my body doesn't want to be on it anymore. And I didn't have any evidence. And I was just trying to like give credence to that. And like, I was planning on it being a disaster, and it's been the best decision of years and years. And it's just like, what is that then? Is it my own fucking power? Is it the universe telling me? Is it some of my friends' energies? Some future lover trying to help me out? Or my dead brother? Or just fucking coincidence? You know what I mean? Either way, like, I was right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't think I was going to be. So I don't know, dude.
No,
I don't freaking know anything.
It's huge too, because I think that, I mean, that's the shit that we were taught to distrust our whole
100%.
life. So to come to trust that again, because like you live inside your body, you know, and there's
barely.
So you're like, well, kind
of the day. Yeah.
I just had a sex therapist on that'll be last week's episode when this airs. And so much of reclamation, of reconstruction after religious deconstruction for me is also coming back into my body. And so much of it, which we didn't even talk about, so we'll have to have you back on, but is sex too. And like trusting your body with its desires and completely rewiring how you relate to that. But I think that absolutely comes into play when it comes to health. Just like believing what your body, there's so many, that's part of the Diet Coke thing. Apparently your gut interacts with your brain. And
no, like a lot. Like a shit ton.
A lot.
That's where the like check your gut feeling came from.
100%. Yeah, which is like, oh, you know, like that's the shit I wish I was learning as a kid, as opposed to like the articles of faith.
Follow the prophet. It, like kind of is a pervasive song. Like kind of comes into my heart and head all the time.
You should do a project that uses. People will talk to me all the time about the primary songs.
They're so scary.
They're so
also
scary.
Like half of them are like fucking copyrighted house down, mama. Scary.
Oh, like you can't.
I
use
think
them.
so. Like IP.
Give this land if they live
righteously.
Kind of a banger.
What is the head thing? Is that a prayer or is that like some?
Did you not learn the
actions?
actions?
I don't know if I know that.
There's
sure
all actions to it. But yeah, give this land if they live. I love the actions. I love you.
I love you, bitch.
Thanks for coming on. This was so last minute too.
Ramshackle last episode. I'm obsessed.
No, I'm so obsessed. This is everything I wanted it to be and more. I love you.
God, I love
Thank
you.
you.
So much, dude.
I'll link all the things that you said, and I'll link where to find you. I want to link Shiver Sucker too. We didn't talk about this, but there's a project that Tanner directed that my husband was the cinematographer on.
The only DP.
And it has a Sister Wives theme, and I still watch that randomly. I hope you know. Like, just because I love watching it.
We literally shut down like every award cycle.
No, like even talking about it, I'm like, I want to watch it so bad. It's
cute.
so good. And I listen to Shiver Sucker when I have to do hip thrusts at the gym. I do.
Okay, wait,
so,
I love you.
Thank you for being here. I love you
Thank
so
you
much.
for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye.
G-I